See, when it comes to this prison genre stuff, I got viewers all around the world. So it don't matter if you're from down here on the East Coast or you're from up there on the West Coast. If you a gangbanger, this video right here could be for you.
Haha, I'm the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2 comes violent, first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone, I'm a charger, don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see you ass, you gon' leave airlift.
What's up, everybody? You already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor, hit that like, subscribe button, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. I want to tell everybody welcome back to the channel. I'm KFROG. If you're new here, drop your name in the comment section. You feel me? And we'll welcome you over here. For this video here, I'm going to be speaking on if a different gang member from a different coast were to get locked up down here. All right? Now, before I get into this video, I'm going to let y'all know that no disrespect to the West Coast or any of the gangs or organizations I got up there that I may speak on in this video. And no disrespect to down here on the East Coast, any of the gangs or organizations that I speak on from down this way. All right? Because it doesn't matter if it's a West Coast gang member getting locked up down here or if it's an East Coast gang member getting locked up there. The same shit's basically gonna, it's gonna relate to both of them. All right? Now, y'all know how it is. Everywhere around the world, there's gangs, okay? There's just, no matter what you do about it, no matter where you're from, there's some type of gang organization. You feel me? Now, down here, we got common ones. Bloods, Crips, GDs, Zoes, Latin Kings, you know what I'm saying? Cutthroats, just there's different shit like that. Now, on the West Coast, you got some gangs that people be asking me about, that I never heard of, like Tango Blast or Serenos, things like that. We've never ever, Woods, we've never ever had those down here, at least in the state of Florida, okay? So, of course, when you're a gang that isn't from down here, if you came down here and you were pushing that, your bid and your stay is gonna be totally different than you would expect. All right, just like if a gang from down here were to go up there on the West Coast. Now, Bloods and Crips are everywhere. A lot of that shit originated from the West Coast. They got more politics and shit like that, and their roots come from up there. So it would be kind of harder for an East Coast individual who's in that type of gang to go up there and be locked up there because you may land in an institution where they don't like you if you're from the East Coast. They might feel like you're not official, because you're not from where they're truly from. So it can also be hard for someone on the East Coast doing their time on the West Coast. Just because that gang is up there, and it originated up there, doesn't mean that, the people down here are gonna have a pass up there. It don't fly like that. They might not like you. They might think you're fake, you're false claiming, how you rep something where you're not even from. You see what I'm saying? How you bang this shit and you ain't even from here. You're repping a gang that's from the West Coast, but you live on the East Coast. You see? So if you're not fully plugged in and tapped in with the real ones that are from up there, your head and all that shit, and your big homie if you ain't really tapped in some type of way, then it could be a long, hard stay for you. And that goes for even the gang members on the East Coast. You feel me? Now, as far as going up there and being part of a gang that isn't up there, then it's common sense what would happen. Just like if you came from the West Coast down here on the East Coast. Now, my whole bid while I was locked up, okay, I got sentenced to 60 months in FSP. That's what they gave me, 60 months in Florida State Prison. I didn't go to FSP, which is Florida State Penitentiary. I was sentenced into Florida State prisons. You know what I'm saying? Now, all the gangs that I came across down here, I never ever, my whole bid, came across one from the West Coast. All right? Not one. Now, it ain't like I came across a couple, 2 or 3. No, I did not come across one. Not one at all. That's how I know if there was someone in them type of gangs down here, they wasn't pushing it. They wasn't, saying this is what I am. They wasn't trying to make a movement, see if there was others of their kinds. No, that would not be allowed down here, okay? Now, like I said, if it's like a gang that is down here, like Bloods and Crips, and you come from up here, that's different, because you got West Side Bloods, East Side Bloods, you know, you have those. But I'm talking about for a different gang that we don't have down here, all right? The people who would have came down here and tried to rep that shit, all the other gangs would have tried to get them off the compound off rip. They don't like, you know, when people try to get numbers. They already got to worry about other organizations as it is. Everybody's trying to make sure they don't get knocked off the map. Everyone's trying to make sure they don't lose count in numbers. They don't want to let no one get above them. If it got something to do with money coming in, they don't want to break it down and split with anybody else. They don't want to give another piece of the pie to nobody else. So they're not going to just let another gang just start growing right in front of them. You understand? So if someone landed at a compound and they were the only one of their kind, but then other people started coming, or they started trying to bring people home to make them their kind, the other gangs would step up and eat that, literally, and get them off the compound. So that's why I'm saying now, it's obvious, you know, the world is, it's big, but it's actual small inside of prison, okay? I'm not saying that people from the West Coast was never locked up down here, but if they were, they weren't pushing that gang. And they did the right thing, because you're not going to come in there and just say, oh, this is what I am, and start banging that shit and repping and throwing it in their face, because you're not going to last long. You see? Just like if someone from the East Coast went on the West Coast. You feel me? If you came there and you decided, oh, I'm going to just lay low, but I rep this. After a while, you start telling people what you truly rep and what you truly is, where you're from, a part of the gang you're in, and all that. They may look at you like, oh, okay, yeah, he's cool. He's from what's it called? You feel me? Oh, yeah, he's a what's it called? But then after a while, they're still going to have their eyes on you to see how you carry yourself. And you can also be a threat to them. They'll feel like you're a threat. It doesn't matter if it was the softest gang in the world. You just telling them you're something else that isn't on that compound, you're rare. You feel me? You telling them you're something else that isn't on that compound, and they're going to keep eyes on you, literally. And they're going to look at it like, I wonder how they move up there, what it's like for them. You feel me? What is this dude really trying to do? You see what I'm saying? So I can't even sit on here and say that I respect a gang that I never heard of. You feel me? But I do respect all gangs. But at the same time, if I came across someone who was part of one of those gangs and they didn't truly stand up and say what they believe or what they rep, then I feel like they shouldn't be repping that gang. Right or wrong? Because what's the difference if, say you're a Blood and say I was a GD, right? But now I'm repping GD everywhere I go, but then when I get around some Bloods, I'm scared to tell y'all what I am. I don't tell y'all what I am. I just say, nah, I don't bang. What, because I'm outnumbered? Well, I don't know if they do that on the West Coast, if they keep quiet when they're around others, or if they're supposed to rep that shit proudly. But down here on the East Coast, you're not supposed to do that. Down here, if you bang a gang, you got to rep that shit no matter where they put you, where you go, none of that. You got to bang that shit. You see what I'm saying? So for me to go through my whole bid and not come across one gang member from the West Coast, I didn't come across one gang member at all, other than ones that were like Bloods from where they came from up there. Ones that, you know what I'm saying, like Treetops, Pyrus, and stuff like that. You feel me? Like where they were really from up that way. You know what I'm saying? People that were, you know, they're literally from Bompton. Instead of saying Compton, I'm from Bompton. You know, it was really from up that way. I came across some Bloods like that. But the gangs that I didn't come across, you know, I'm not saying there was, but I'm wondering if there could have possibly been some of them in our prison system, you know? Because I'm pretty sure some people from the East Coast get locked up on the West Coast. I'm pretty sure they're going to be like this too, you know? So it isn't just, you know, them up there. Down here would be the same way, you know? But I just want people to know it ain't going to be no easy thing, you feel me? I know people on the West Coast may think something different about the East Coast, just like East Coast thinks shit different about the West Coast. But it ain't going to be no cakewalk. You feel me? It's not going to be no just a smooth little bid for you if you come down here and you try to rep something. You see? Now, up there, they go by levels. Down here, we don't go by levels. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of people will comment in my videos, oh, that's a that's a low-level institution he was at, But if you were to Google the institutions that I was at, you will see there were level 6s and 7s. And level 7s is the highest we have down here in the state of Florida. Either level 7 or level 6. One of them two. I don't know. I'm going to take that back. Either 6 or 7 is the highest level we have. You feel me? And if you look up Charlotte CI, you'll see that shit's higher than a level 4. You feel me? Calhoun, higher than a level 4. DeSoto, higher than a level 4. You know, it's just we're different. Our prison system's set up different than it is on the West Coast. You know, up there they talk about level 4 yards. See, down here, it's just different. We don't go off levels, you know. But we have gangs. We're not segregated. So shit goes down left and right. On the West Coast, you know, people say that they're segregated. They know to segregate everybody because if they didn't, people would be getting murked, right? People would be getting hurt and everything, so they segregate everybody. That they don't segregate nobody in Florida because they're not worried about anything going down. Well, since we're not segregated down this way, something goes down every single day. People get wet up, hit up, taken, you know, stabbed, jumped, hit with all that shit every single day. Every day it happens multiple times, and they still don't segregate us. You see what I'm saying? So it's two different things, the West Coast and the East Coast. And I ain't got nothing bad to say about the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Never been locked up there, none of that shit. But I do know how it would be for a gang member to rep whatever they rep up there and come down here and try to rep it. You know? Because I've seen with my own eyes, even when it comes to the Bloods and stuff like that, who come from up there. I've seen with my own eyes to where down here on the East Coast, yeah, that's their brother and shit, but they truly don't fuck with them. They truly be talking like they want to eat him and shit like that. You know, like they don't respect what he is and all this different shit, you know? So I know it's got to be the same thing up there. It would be torture for both coasts. That's the best way I could put it. Straight up. So it don't look like I'm saying one side's better than the other. It would literally be a tough time for both of them. Don't matter which one you are. If you came down here repping a gang that we do not have and you start repping that shit on the compound, they're going to get you from around there. You probably won't rep it at the next camp you go to after they're done with you. Straight up. And if you do, then they're going to do the same thing to you. And then after a while, you're going to see it's the same consequences and repercussion outcome each time because you're repping something that we do not have down here. You're trying to push something that is not down here. That, you know, you're trying to stand for what you believe in or what you push and rep. And that shit is not going to fly. Okay? Now, I would probably, you know, tell y'all something different if I would have came across one or two of them that stood on what they believe on and said that shit. But let's be real now. You know, people get locked up around the world all the time. Now, for me to not run across not one at all out of my whole bid, I'm pretty sure there was one or two of them there that wasn't saying nothing. Literally. It's just, that's how it is. You feel me? I'm pretty sure. You know, people come down this way and catch crimes and get arrested, get jammed up all the time from different states. So I know, like, for me to only hear about these gangs since I've been home from prison, you know what I'm saying? Like, it literally took me to hear people ask me if I'd seen them or did I ever come across any of them or how were they in prison. And me, I've never ever, I can't tell you. I could just tell you I never heard of them. And when I say that, people will be like, Dan, that's crazy. We're everywhere. We're worldwide. Well, I never heard of them until the streets. So if they was locked up where I was locked up or if they was in the institution or anything like that, they wasn't making no noise. They wasn't known. You feel me? They wasn't making no money because everyone that makes money's known. Everyone that's violent's known. Everyone that extorts known. Everyone that beats people up's known, wets people up, you know, all that shit. So in order for a gang that is not from down here to be locked up down here and not hear about them, they wasn't being, you know, they was being silent, which they was trying to, you know, which staying out of harm's way. And now don't get me wrong, that's the smartest thing to do because I already told y'all what would happen if you came down here trying to rep it some other way. It ain't like you could come here by yourself and then all of a sudden low-key bring people home to where you're not, okay, it was just me and then I ran into someone who's from where I'm from, so I made him one, and then now we found some other ones that want to be down because of the color of their skin, so we made 3 of them one. Now there's 5 of us. It isn't going to go down like that. They're going to suspect what's going down. Word's going to travel like that, and before you know it, as soon as you bring home that other person, The first person. As soon as you bring him home to one, now there's two of y'all. All the other gangs, light bulbs are going to glow, and they're going to be on your P's and Q's, and they're going to be after you. Straight up. That's what's going to happen. You see what I'm saying? That's why your best bet is to not even come down here and start repping it. That's my opinion. I'm just being honest with you because I've seen a lot of violent shit go down, and I know violent stuff goes down on the West Coast also. You feel me? That's why I said if some people from the East side, from the East Coast were to go up there, it would be the same way. I don't encourage anybody from the East Coast that is part of a gang that is not up there to go up there and start claiming it, to start banging that shit, putting on for it, because the only thing is going to happen is the same outcome that would happen for the West Coast people down here on this side. You see? And at the end of the day, you know, people are going to rep what they want to rep. If they want to push it, they're going to want to push it. But for me not to see any or hear about any of them while I was in prison, then that should show, you know, they wasn't pushing it down here. It's two different things, you know. On the West Coast, you got a lot more and a bigger white organization when it comes to banging, okay? Their white organization gang has numbers, and it's got rank, it's got noise, like the Woods. They're known, you feel me? They got numbers, they're big, they're everywhere. Down here, it's the opposite. Down here, the whites aren't that big. People rep that shit. Some people do put on for the whites and stuff like that, but it isn't that big. When you go to prisons in Florida, the population and the numbers of other gangs and organizations is triple that. That's why every camp I went to, all the people that banged that white boy shit, like Unforgivens and all that stuff, they had their cliques, but they wasn't a threat to the other gangs. You feel me? They just talk good. A lot of them talk good. Like anyone I ran across on the street since I've been home from prison that was banging the white gang in prison, they talk good. They talk like they was the shit up the road. They talk like they was doing this, they was doing that, blah, 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 blah. And low key, I seen with my own eyes at every institution I went to that it wasn't like that. They were just big badasses towards their own kind, believe it or not. They got like that inner complex against their own brothers. The most of the arguing and fighting they do was fighting their own. Straight up. In my dorm, when I was at Charlotte CI and D dorm, I had a whole clique of white boys in there that was part of that shit. And every day they'd be in there in the bathroom squaring off, showing their bump, and they're living like that. All the other gangs would just sit back and laugh at them. Like straight up. Like they won't fight us, but they'll do that. You feel me? That's what it is. We ain't worried about them. We'll eat them if they say anything. That's what the other gangs used to say. You feel me? So it's all on where you go and how it is, you know. Like I said, it's totally different down here as it is up there. Just like it won't be a cakewalk down here, it won't be a cakewalk up there. You feel me? But I wanted to drop this video because I got people watching from the West Coast and the East Coast. You see what I'm saying? And you know, when you ain't been locked up down here, you can think whatever you want. Just like when you ain't been locked up there, vice versa. You see what I'm saying? So I get a lot of comments about, oh man, I'd walked out, oh that shit's like our kiddie camp, this and that, blah, 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 blah. Well, bitches is dying down here. So if y'all's kiddie camp got people dying, then yeah, it's like that down here, I guess. Because people are dying down here. You straight up. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what type of kiddie camp that is, but that's what the outcome is. But I want y'all to drop in the comment section, man, whether you're from the East Coast or the West Coast. Drop in the comment section how it is, you know, with the gangs. If you're part of a gang, how do you think it would be if you came down here, if you went up there? But make sure you make it known in the comments what coast you're from. You feel me? Like, don't just leave a comment, you know, put on there what you want and then put, I'm from the East Coast. Or put on there, I'm from the West Coast. You know, how you think it would be. Why do you think people are like this when they're in a different coast? Do you think it's because they know they have no chance? It'd be like, you know, they'd be putting themselves on the platter if they threw it out there. Or you one of them people who swear if you came down here and you was part of the gang that isn't down here, you swear you would push that gang, you would have respect, you would make it known. Because you know, we had Wes Watson one time, he was running his mouth on one of his videos saying that if he came down here on the East Coast, he'd run any yard he gets put on. That's what he said. I'll run any yard I get put on the East Coast. Straight up. I'll sit down at the chow hall table and I'll say ain't no blacks sitting with me and ain't doing no deals with no blacks. And I even left a comment a long time ago and told them, no disrespect, but you would get killed down here doing that. That ain't gonna fly. There's no way possible. I don't care who you are, how big you are, none of that shit. That big shit don't mean nothing down here. You got little linky ass people, bro, that'll put that iron on you. Straight up. You feel me? And when I told him that, oh, no disrespect, but you get killed down here. He wrote about, oh, I take that highly disrespectful. And I said, well, I'm just letting you know. There's no way you're going to come down here from the West Coast and say, no matter what pound I stand on, what yard I stand on, I'm going to run that yard. Ain't no blacks finna sit at my table. None of that. Man, you say that at chow, if you say that at breakfast, you're gonna be wet up before lunch. And it's crazy because the way it is down here, so slimy and grimy, that the moment he says that to anybody, the moment he would stand up and say that to a black person, whatever white gang or organization he's in, they'd fall back and let him be in it himself. All the other ones ain't even gonna rise with him. You see? Just like he also said, oh, if you're on the rec yard and one of your brothers take off, if you're a white boy, you're mandatory to swing on a black person. No, that shit don't go down here either. That's totally different down here also. You see what I'm saying? You got different color races and organizations down here. You feel me? Just because a white boy swings on a black dude doesn't mean every white boy's got to take off on the yard. That's what he said that he used to go through. You feel me? And then he also said if a white fights a white, they got to stab each other because they're not allowed to fight each other because they're already the number situation. So if you want to fight one of your own kinds, y'all got to use a knife. Someone's got to stab someone or it's not over with. See? That's because that's West Coast. This is East Coast. We got different shit going on. You feel me? It's totally different. But like I said, if someone came from that coast down here and tried to act like however they acted in there, I don't care if you did 15 years harsh time up there. I don't care if you did 15 years harsh time. You come down here and you try to do that shit down here, the only thing that's gonna happen, boys, you're gonna get poked up. They're gonna wet you up, they're gonna jump you, they're gonna flip you. Your own kind, your own race, your own color is gonna be against you when you come down here. That's just how different it is. That's why I want y'all to drop in the comment section and be real. You know, don't try to seem hard and lie in the comments, make you look like Billy the Badass, all that stuff. Nah, you ain't got to do that. Just keep it real 100 in the comments, you know, because I know I'm going to get a lot of them. Oh, I would do this, I would do that. I come down there and I get this motherfucker and make him do this and do that, which it's cap. It's bullshit. No, you won't. Just like the same thing down here. Y'all go up there, y'all ain't going to do that. You ain't going to do the same thing. You're not. It's impossible. It's not happening. You feel me? But anyways, I want y'all to drop that shit in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all put y'all's personal opinions in there. Let me know if you were locked up and you came across a gang member from a different coast, on your coast. Because down here, I never had it happen. So I can't tell you how they were where I was. How were they rocking? How was they living? Because a lot of them I never heard of until I came home from prison. You see what I'm saying? But anyways, I feel good doing this video with y'all. Can't wait to see what y'all had to say about it. I'm going to wrap it on up, though. I appreciate y'all watching this. Like I always say, y'all make sure y'all keep them squares, rats, clowns, chomos, snakes, heavy gunners, liars, all them capped out internet thugs, all them out your circle. And until next time, this is Frog.